What's up, house groups? I'm coming to you from a gathering with some church planning buddies from all around the country. We get together once a year and just talk about what God's doing in our churches, try to steal ideas from each other so that we can hopefully all reach more people from Jesus. It's kind of fun. There are guys who have been in it 20 years and 10 years and 10 months. We got a guy with us who hasn't even planted yet. So really looking forward to that. We're totally not somewhere warmer than Iowa. It's not Phoenix. It's Phoenix, and it's so warm and glorious. But Sunday was awesome. It was an amazing day. I feel like baptisms are just the best days because it's incredible to hear these stories of what God is doing in people's lives and how he's given them a bigger, better vision, a revision of who he is and drawing them to himself. And we saw people who were 11 and people who were teenagers and people who were young adults and people who were older adults get baptized. It's just really fun. And so that was awesome to experience. And then on top of that, we finished 1 Thessalonians 5 by digging into these 3 verses where Paul says, "Rejoice always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus." And I'll be honest with you, for most of my life, I felt like really burdened by that. Like, oh my goodness, in all the list of stuff I can't do as a Christian, of all the impossible things, like here's just 3 more impossible commands that I can't follow. And the truth is they are in the imperative. Rejoice, like give thanks, pray. They're all like do it. They're commands. But what Paul's doing is not layering on like 3 more impossible religious hoops for us to jump through. What he's not trying to do is give us some extra burden to bear. He's given us a blessing to build on. To say like, hey, in the middle of life's storms, because he's writing to a group of people who are walking through just the junk of life. They're persecuted, they're suffering. Things aren't going the way they desperately want them to be going. And he's like, hey, in the middle of that, you don't have to be blown this way and that way by the winds and the waves. You can anchor your life in something. The fact that God is present with you. Like, remember that this group of people he's writing to in Thessalonica had been living in the middle of a pagan culture their entire lives. A pagan culture that told them that there was this like pantheon of gods who basically hated humans. They were capricious, they were distant, they weren't there, and you had to placate them all the time so that they wouldn't zap you or something like that. This is what they've been taught about the divine. And Paul's saying, no, you've missed it completely. There's a God who created you on purpose in love to be with you. And so you can rejoice always, because joy is not a thermometer, it's a thermostat. No matter what's going on in your life, you're not meant to be up and down. Joy sets the tone. Not in a way that makes you pretend that valleys are mountaintops, but in a way that reminds you in the valleys, you are not walking alone. You can pray continually. Like, you can pray intentionally, but all day, every day, that communication channel is open. Like, prayer doesn't change God's presence in our lives, it changes our awareness of it. And so what Paul's saying when he says pray continually is be aware. God is always with you and always available to you. And this gives thanks in all circumstances. It's not for all circumstances, but in all circumstances. And what he's telling us there is like, look, I know life isn't always the way you want it to be, and it's not gonna be. Like, there are going to be rough circumstances up ahead, but you can give thanks because you know if it's not good, God's not done, because you know that he's working and he's with you. And so all of this is meant to be a reminder at the very end of this first letter that he wrote to the church in Thessalonica, the first letter that he wrote to any of the churches, the first book of the Bible, or the earliest book in the New Testament. At the very end, the big idea is that God is with us. And so no matter what's going on in our outer world, our inner world doesn't need to be shattered because it's anchored in him and we're rooted deep in him. And so if I could give you anything tonight and give you any challenge, it would be like, stop letting the circumstances of your life be a thermometer that just change how you are and who you are every single day. And this is easier said than done, but allow joy, allow God's presence to become a thermostat, to say, I'm so deeply anchored in my identity in Jesus because of who he is. No matter what happens to me, I know that he's with me, that he loves me, that he's available to me, and that he's working for my good, and that in the end he wins. And when we anchor our lives in that, then our inner world can be steady even in the middle of the storms that are going on outside of us.